issue he had that he was raising in the video, like, correct me if I'm wrong, was that like, why are you choosing, I love this because on the internet, black men, some like to have this conversation about women taking accountability and vetting, right? So why aren't you lot vetting the women that you're dating? Well, then you wouldn't need to ask her what she brings to the table.
Well, that is a part of vetting, right? I'm asking you a question. Like,
no, but why would you ask
vetting.
me? You see, you've approached me, right? We'll have conversations about what we do, what we want from life. In those conversations, you should then be able to gauge whether I'm worth that investment. So to then ask me what I bring to you approached me.
Exactly.
Like I was minding my business and you, do you see what I mean?
Let me ask you this then. What are some of the questions that women ask you on your first date? Where do you work? She's trying to, and then she wants to tell you, but from your job status, she can infer what your income is. Where do you live? What kind of car you drive? Are these not the questions that women typically ask men within the first
because
date?
you will see what car he's driving.
But usually,
what car do you drive?
Usually, women want to know where you work because it indicates how much money you have, and where you live is your ability to provide for her. Women are going to somehow, in the first 2 or 3 dates, get to that. They're not going to sit around.
You know what they say, that all Steves are simps. Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Maya. This is the Repat Podcast. Maintain. Tina, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tina.
I'm O'Shea Duke Jackson.
I maintain, DJ and producer. What's up?
Okay, so guys, watch this clip with us and react to it with us.
See, these dudes kill me. That's what's wrong with this generation today. These young boys today, what do she bring to the table? The hell you mean, man? What do your ass bring to the table? You got a woman that can come to the table that can make another you. What else she need to slide up to the table with? What about your job? What happened to men who were supposed to be responsible? Do you know that it's our job to take care of a woman and some children, to have a family? That's our damn job.
Guys, yes, he's saying, what is wrong with the men today? What is wrong with the generation today? What are the men doing? Why are they asking ladies what they bring to the table? Please, gentlemen, take this away.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, you're like, go ahead, bro. Go build it
He's
up,
already
brother.
giving you the side eye as well.
Because, you know what I mean? Me and the passport bros have a little bit of a ongoing thing. But, so Steve Harvey, he said women bring life to the table. And for me, if you're putting it like that, it trumps everything else. Like, what is more sacred, what is more valuable than life itself, the life we are all living individually and collectively? Not much. So I do believe there's a lack of care from our brothers at the minute.
Preach.
When we're looking at we was even talking about it off air, right? We're looking at clapping of the cheeks rather than just, building something with a woman that is way more valuable than a one night stand. And we've taken our eye off the ball. We've lost focus, and
He's stressed.
O'Shea, you
Mental,
okay?
yes,
You okay there,
please.
brother?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, you good? You good?
someone's in my eye, brother.
Okay. Mine too. Emotional, but I think we've to go back to what I was just saying. I think we've taken our eye off the ball a little bit. Not to say that it's all on men for the issues that happen in relationships at present, from what I can see. But we've lost focus. I think we've lost focus, and I agree with Steve. Women are not our enemies. Women. We should be building with our sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should be building.
Thank
You know what I mean?
you.
That's my opinion.
Let's switch it to the one who's dozing.
Wake up!
No. Let's
He
just say.
wants more content to
Let me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm already about to body him. Let me get all y'all at the same time. Come on.
Okay.
So he said that women bring life to the table, which is great, but not all women can, bring life. But still, the way in which like a woman would nurture a child is completely different. Also, so that's still just as valuable. But yeah, let's hear from.
I feel like you have more, please.
Oh no, I have more. Me personally, me and my friends, we don't like table talk. Like we call it table talk, the what do you bring to the table thing, because it's like we are the tables.
Ooh.
We are to like be brought to. And because I know someone's gonna come in with some, but not every woman deserves it to you.
Yeah.
So if you feel like she's valuable enough to you, then you would want to provide, because by nature a man would want to provide. And obviously I know like right now economically it's not easy for like men to hold it down as they used to, but I refuse to go 50-50 with somebody when you can't carry the baby for 4.5 months. Or do you see what I mean? And then you'll have the guys that will be like, women should, what do you bring to the table? So you want me to be a career woman. You then want me to have your kids. You then want me to be nurturing, and you want me to cook and clean. Like, so then what do you bring to the table? I think that
Don't
question.
forget intimacy as well.
Right? Intimate. Oh, then thank you. I forgot that one. Because then if you don't sleep with them, they're going to, anyway. But
The whole
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so no, I think it's table talk is really only done by broke men also.
Ooh.
Because men of value don't
As
have
su-
these conversations. Just saying. They're really going to kill me in the comments for this.
So there's
one.
something
and a
there's something
purse
you said,
thing.
Tina. You said
Thank
something about you won't go 50-50
No, I won't.
with anyone.
It doesn't mean I won't contribute, but I refuse to like share bills with my partner like a roommate. Why are you guys looking?
No. We're not sure.
For real. No. I will contribute,
That's
but
it.
I'm not gonna go halves.
Wow, I've never not gone house.
Even when you go out for
And I
dinner,
respect it. And if and also like part of being a woman is like having the freedom to make your choices. So if the woman you're with is okay with that, that's fine.
Wait, did you say you've never not gone half? Yeah. You've always gone half.
Yeah,
even a dinner
But
date.
you agree with what he's talking about.
yeah.
He is coming for you.
But that's what she wanted. She was like, "Yo, this is how we're doing it. We're splitting everything down the middle." I was like, "Cool." Then when I started to earn more, we reviewed it, and then I started,
Putting
You,
more.
you reviewed it like
Yeah.
an application.
yeah.
not like an application, like
It's a
people do in
couple.
a
You sit
relationship
down
when they
and
care
look
about
at
each other and they want to
something.
stay together and grow and evolve.
Yeah.
It's something more than
Yeah.
clapping cheeks.
Oh, okay, me.
Kuhani had
Okay.
something to say in the background, please.
Kuhani. Oh, she was just clicking.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, just to give my take on this.
Yeah, please do.
I do agree with him. I do agree with what he's saying. I feel like most men in this generation have lost focus, like Maintain said. They've lost the vision. A man is supposed to provide, protect, the other P's, they're like 5 P's. I feel like men in this generation just want to, like, you want to keep asking, but what do you give me? But what do you bring to the... You already walked up to her. You already saw something that you liked that she has. You already saw that she could give you something. And now you're asking her what she can give to you. You didn't make research. You didn't observe. You didn't date. You didn't do anything. You just decided, I'm going to walk up to her and then like, this is going to be an interview. But yeah. Let's let the big man take it away.
No, you guys have something to say? Go ahead, please.
He just wants to thrash us all at once. He's like, everyone talk.
One rule.
Why are you side-eyeing me?
Well, if it's a first date, even if it's not a first date, but if it's a date, yeah, I've come, you ask me that, listen, it's a dick move, and I would think maybe you're overdosed on a red pill or something, because, I mean, yeah, we are supposed to be vibing, that find out if I could be the person you're going to commit to, things like that. And don't ask me what I bring to the table, sir.
I should finish us.
He's like, next.
Honey, please.
Yo, this topic has made Rachel cuss and she doesn't. So for me, I'd say both parties have lost the way. And I feel like this topic begs the question, why has the male party and the female party ended up being in such a drastic situation? I feel it's actually really sad that courtship is not valued anymore. People don't court each other. You don't follow up. You know how you used to pursue someone and really pursue them, and everybody knows so and so is pursuing this girl, like territory is marked. But the question is why? And I feel why is, yesterday I said there is bad fruit, and that bad fruit is destroying everything for everyone else. So you find like most men have been put through so much nonsense to the point where they feel like every woman out there is going to bring nonsense to the table.
Agreed.
So they don't feel the value of wanting to court someone who's going to be a waste of time. Same thing for the ladies. You find ladies have been put through so much nonsense too, to the point where they're like, okay, if you only want me for my body, then why can I not get what I want from you? If it's rent money, I can get it from you, because at the end of the day, you are going to get what you want from me. And yeah, like there's a time when Cardi B was still doing the, what was it? Love and Hip Hop. She was asking one of those guys, why do you feel bad when a woman comes, flatters you just to get money from you? Because at the end of the day, you're also going to do the same thing to her. You're going to come flatter her just for her body. So I feel the goal should be to go back to the beginning and deal with the issue at the root, instead of throwing hands and throwing rocks and hiding your hands. So yeah, everybody's failing. It's not just the women, but also the men. So the question should be asked at both parties, like, what do you bring to the table and what do I bring to the table? And if you feel like your table is full of what you both want, then you can take it up from there.
Sounds like the table is the issue. Maybe we should just get rid of the table.
And just
You know what I mean?
And then
And then just like humans assess each other, and like, because the thing is, right, initially the attraction is physical, right? So if I'm approaching you because I like how you are physically. But the minute we have a conversation, and if I don't like what I'm hearing, I tune out.
yeah.
You're no longer that attracted to me anymore, and I move on. So yeah, we don't need a table. You know what I mean? We need to be, you know.
I still stand by the woman as the table. Like it's legit biblical. Like a man shall find a wife and then find favor with God.
Amen.
Like, what are you not hearing?
Preach.
Like, you won't have that favor with God until you find the wife. Like,
I'm not that religious, so that's gone over my head.
okay, but yeah.
Let me back up Tina on that one. Because the Bible also says men should love their wives and women should respect their husbands. So that part for loving very much. Yes.
Anyone else got anything to contribute to this?
Before
Bible verses.
Yeah. But I do agree with what Kohan is saying. Okay, like if I stop being petty, now let me be, let me not be biased and stop being petty and throwing shade to the men.
Don't try to clean it up now.
No, I'm not trying to clean it up. I'm saying I agree. I feel like both, because like I can't say, oh, men have lost the focus. Also, some women have lost the focus, of like the whole thing of being a wife and submitting to your man and, getting married and whatnot. Some women have lost that focus, but I like in the beginning, you're supposed to get with your man and then like submit and do the wife duties.
But do they deserve the submission though?
No, but I feel like when you get with a man and then you turn into a wife, like what are you going to do now? You took yourself there.
Because like it says that, we should submit. But like the part after that, it says women submit to your husbands, but he has to also be ready to die for you. Like Jesus died for the church. Ooh. But most of these men ain't ready to even do anything for you. So like, why should I?
Okay, but say they are ready to do all these things.
Oh yeah, then
by all means.
100% I'll submit. Like I believe in submission, but to the right man. And like, like she said, like a lot of people have lost the focus on like what their roles actually are.
Yeah.
So like men want a woman to submit, but are you a leader?
Oh, preach.
Great question. Great question.
Should I just Do your
Just
thing.
go on, fine.
Just,
we're
it's
ready.
okay.
Stop giving us side
Give it
eyes
up.
and
Just go ahead. He's like,
brother.
He's like, who should I start with?
This is the one podcast I haven't said anything for like 15 minutes.
yeah.
I've been hearing some of the most low intelligent IQ points I've ever heard in my life. But let me not use the ad hominem. Let me just address what Steve initially said in that clip with Shannon Sharp. Firstly, he says, these men of today. And so he's trying to make a unilateral statement as if these men of today, they're different, but yet the women are still the same as the women of his generation. So if the men have changed, it must be indicative that the women have changed. Because if you're going to say these men of today, you're acting like those are the same women of yesterday, those two can't be the same. So, but what I will tell you though, is that my grandfather, I use this all the time. My grandfather was baptized, or he became a deacon at the Macedonian Baptist Church in Richmond, California in 1949. He was 31. What he was supposed to do as a man is the same thing that I'm supposed to do right now in 2023. It's not much difference. Are we going to say that women in 1949 have the exact same roles as what they have in 2023? I would say no. Women have accelerated in the career path, and what is expected for a woman to do in 1949 is much different than what a man is more closer to the role in 1949 as a woman is in 2023 in comparison to 1940. It's completely different. Women are going to give you a much less than what you would have got in his year or in Steve Harvey's generation. Furthermore, he also goes to say women can create another you. That's true. Women can carry kids, but they don't do it by themselves. So they can create another you, which is the argument doesn't make sense. What does that have to do with the fact of a man saying, what do you bring to the table? Because everybody knows.
Life.
Listen, so she can't do it by herself. So now she carries the kid, but she needs a man's sperm to create. It's not like she goes into the kitchen and just like, okay, let me build this baby and it comes out. It's not what happens.
Sperm banks.
Yeah, okay, but still she needed some help. So she didn't create this thing by herself. She needed help to create. No, we're not discounting childbirth and labor and carrying a baby. I don't disagree with that. But now he's saying that she can give life. So because she can create another you, then that's all she needs to bring to the table. But now, if that is the case, why is David's Bridals going out of business? Why are guys marrying less? Because Steve Harvey, who actually has, I think, like the book, like what, think like a woman, act like a man.
Think like a man, act like a woman. Is it?
Act like a woman, think like a man.
Yeah, there you go. So, what is this guy really trying to say? I believe he's trying to say that you as men shouldn't have any questions for who you're dealing with. She should give you nothing. But having a woman is an emotional commitment. It's a financial commitment. It's a divorce commitment in the West if you lose all your stuff. And most men in America today, when you look at the numbers and you add it all up, and I'm going to take care of this woman, well, the risks outweigh the rewards for most guys. That's something that we just can't get around, okay? Now, the next point is, as far as this whole table thing is to be concerned, is he's trying to say that women don't need to do anything to get a man. I think that doesn't make any sense. Women in the professional sector don't have that entitlement. When you want to go to Harvard or you want to go to Yale Law School, there are certain things you need to do, right? They're prerequisites. You need to score a certain level of grades. You need to have an SAT score. There are certain things you need to do to be competent to get to where you want to be, except when it comes to black men in relationships or men in relationships. So let's talk to men or talk down to them who, you're actually requiring a woman to be somebody to deal with you. Now, you have to work very hard as a man to become somebody. You have to really work on yourself, especially if you're not a guy that's very attractive or tall or good looking. There are things you got to do before a woman can get into even take notice of you. But now at the same time, she don't need to do nothing. So then what makes her different from anybody else? The reality is this. Women want to be able to feel like they're so great, and you might be great as a woman. That don't mean you're great for who you're trying to get. And that's something that Steve Harvey can't differentiate. Men that have value, that have worked for themselves all their life. I don't care if you feel you're at the table. You might not be shit to me. And if I'm the guy that you want in the same earning bracket or in the same kind of socioeconomic status, then I'm going to be able to tell you that you're not worth it. And you can.
Why are you dating the women in the first place? Like the whole conversation is like counterproductive because it's like, I think that the issue he had that he was raising in the video, like correct me if I'm wrong, was that like, why are you choosing, I love this because on the internet, black men, some like to have this conversation about women taking accountability and vetting, right? So why aren't you lot vetting the women that you're dating?
Well, that's
then you wouldn't need to ask her what she brings to the table.
Well, that is a part of vetting, right? I'm asking you a question. Like,
no, but why would you ask
vetting.
me? You see, you've approached me, right? We'll have conversations about what we do, what we want from life. In those conversations, you should then be able to gauge whether I'm worth that investment. So to then ask me what I bring to the, you approached me.
Exactly.
Like I was minding my business and you, do you see what I mean?
Let me ask you this then. What are some of the questions that women ask you on your first date? Where do you work? She's trying to, and then she wants to tell you, but from your job status, she can infer what your income is. Where do you live? What kind of car you drive? Are these not the questions that women typically ask men within the first
because
date?
you will see what car he's driving.
But usually,
what car do you drive?
Usually, women want to know where you work because it indicates how much money you have, and where you live is your ability to provide for her. Women are going to somehow, in the first 2 or 3 dates, get to that. They're not going to sit around wasting their time dealing with you if you're not able to answer that question or those myriad of questions. That's true. Most women are going to want to know where you work, where do you live, what car you drive, because it indicates some level of being able to provide. Now, women have no problem asking men those questions in that particular order, but they do have a problem with a man asking, what do you bring to the table? Now, let me just say this. It is abrasive, and it's something that I wouldn't typically do, but I think it's just as fair as a woman asking, how much money do you make? Where do you live? Do you got kids? And the thing about it is this, and it's more of a red pill sort of thing when you bring to the table, but a guy is like, look, what do you think? In other words, let's kind of translate this. What do you feel that you need to do for a man? And I'm going to tell you, women don't like that because you don't feel like you need to do anything for a man. That's what it is. That's why women have a problem with the question. You think that you just need to show up because you are the table, and for a man, that's the stupidest, silliest thing.
At me.
No, in general, you're not the only person that has that point of view. So women feel like because God blessed me, and you should be glad that I'm here in this dinner today. I showed up. You should be glad because I am the table. What does that really mean? That means something to you, but for me, as a guy that's going to be an investor or dating you, what do you do for me every day that impacts my life such that I need to choose you?
Okay.
Because men are the ones deciding if you get married or not.
Maintain. You have something to say.
Yeah. What I got from what Steve Harvey was saying, it was like what I got was that he was saying that why are you now asking her what you bring to the table after you've been courting her, etc., etc., etc. That's what I got from that. Yeah. Me and my personal experience dealing with women, the questions I got asked on many occasions were, you single?
Yeah, because you have to ask
you have to be sure. And they asked me how many kids do I have. I don't know, maybe it's because they know of me because I'm a DJ. They know that's my job. But that's generally what the questions I get is on a personal level. So I suppose there's different circumstances for men all over the world, right? When it comes to this whole table talk. You said something about you said an investor, right?
Yeah, that's what you are.
But I don't think that term. It
Then
sounds
that
what
make
it
you a
is.
sugar daddy
It sounds
then,
cold.
if you're an investor.
Any lady,
Thank
bro.
you,
If you're
Maintain.
looking at a woman and you're seeing yourself as an investor, it's already on the way. It's already on the relationship's
It won't
already on the
work.
way out.
why is it on the way out? Because it's what you're doing.
The power dynamics are off.
You're putting value on money, not putting value on each other.
Let's just say there's some sort of investment. Because if I'm going to spend my time hanging out with you or my money, that is what it is. Because I'm expecting something out of it, even if it's not a financial return. Who's over there wanting to say something? Go ahead. Go. Let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
The fact that you go into the relationship or the dating scene or whatever with that mentality, it's hard for you to see. One, you already know the type of girls you're going to go for. Yeah. And then two, it's hard for you to see them differently because you've set your mind on I am the investment, I'm bringing the value and all that. So, because I believe most men know like the kind of girls they want, and most of them chase the kind of girls, a certain type of girls that they're attracted to, or maybe they want to deal with. It could be, just dating, but it's not like marriage or something like that. That's why so many of them have these girls around, and then they end up with someone different, and everyone is shocked. It's like, oh, we thought he was going to marry the other person because it seemed like, those are the type of girls he wants, but he ended up with someone different. So for me, until you change your mentality of I am, this or that, maybe you will attract different women, or you'll see these relationships you have with these girls different.
Let me address that. I don't deny that you have some men that are maybe they watched a few Kevin Samuels videos or Andrew Tate's videos or even some of my videos. And so they're inexperienced and they're going into a first date. I think that what Steve Harvey is saying is not after. I know you're inferring that, you've been dating this lady. I feel like the question in general to him is what has bothered him so much.
Yeah.
It's become cumbersome to him. But the reality is that women don't want to compete for a man. Women believe in competing for jobs. They believe in competing for professional things. They'll compete for that. But for men, they don't. So now, hold on. But now, as a man who is a very productive and successful man,
Okay. So
there are certain things that you need to do to even qualify. And that question might not be asked right away, but if you think that you're just going to show up because you're at the table, I mean, you'll be lucky if I even laugh because you're not making any sense. So, Steve Harvey obviously is trying to appeal to the audience, I believe, which is women. But our job is to provide for women and take care of women, which I have no problem with. I talk about that here on this podcast. I'm really a big advocate of that. But the question is, it's not every woman who deserves that. It is not a right for a woman to have a man to take care of her. It is a privilege. It's a privilege to be looked after. You need to compete for that privilege. And if you cannot make it, then you go over there with the poor guy, or you go over there with the guy who doesn't have any vision. But you got to compete. And if you can't make it, it's not our fault. Now, let me just say this. It's not to take a personal shot at Steve Harvey. Because Steve Harvey's own judgment seems to be biased here. His current wife, Marjorie Harvey, and I'm just saying, he's the kind of guy that he doesn't require a woman to do anything. Number one, he was super successful, and he married this lady who was married to a big-time drug dealer who went to the feds, then had a baby by his cousin, and then so obviously you have no standards. And a lot of guys want men to have standards, no standards, and just take whatever there's offered to them. So you have to do something to become you. To be $300 million Steve Harvey. She ain't got to do nothing but look good and drug dealers. That's all she got to do. And that's not the case. A woman has to be on the same level as many guys. And that's why everybody's mad at the passport bro guys. That's why guys are mad at interracial dating in the black community. Because guys are looking at what they're seeing and say, no, you're not good enough. No, you're fucked up. No. And so now when you see the black man with the white woman, you want to be upset, but you're not being competitive. Or you see the African-American man with the Ghanaian woman or whatever. Women got to compete on this level. This is a big time levels here. You're talking about guys who are risking it all to take care of you. They don't know you. They got to spend their life building a house for you when they could be putting that money into their own 401k for themselves. Why you? Why should I break my back for you is what guys are saying. And most women are not worth a guy breaking their back for. It's not. They're not. It's the truth.
Tina.
Thank you. Because listen, so much that you said, yeah.
You mad? I know.
Triggered the fuck
Oh, it's okay.
Because
Get her a drink.
yeah, please. Because what?
Oh, is they drinking it?
No. We can.
Because listen, it makes no sense. What you're saying makes no sense because so
you.
say you said okay. Listen, for example, let's go to Marjorie Harvey, right? Cool. To you, she doesn't seem valuable, right? But every man's priorities are different and every man's requirements are different. So maybe for him, he feels like that is what he wanted. That's why he's with her. That's why he's adopted her kids. That's why he's being the man that he's being for her, right? Same way someone might look at the women you date and not particularly...
It's true.
And not particularly see the value in them. But I don't think it's any man's responsibility to sit here and... What's the word? What did you say? Compete? To be the Simon Cowell of people's relationships. Like, it makes no sense to me. First of all.
That's what he's doing.
Second of all, I miss the days when men used to duel off to marry women. You're saying we need to compete. But traditionally, men have gone and fought to the death to be with women. That is how valuable we are. So
that's how valuable you are, how valuable you were, because they stopped.
Women in general are, because the only thing that's changed is now we're doing what you were doing, plus what we were doing before. Do you see what I'm saying?
At what level?
In the sense of back in the day, it was, sorry, I've kind of raised my voice. Let me go back down.
No, go ahead.
No, because you pissed me off.
No, passion's good.
You pissed me off.
Don't bottle the passion.
Like, I felt my voice
Get more views.
because you actually pissed me. No, because this is my thing, right? Back in the day, women took care of the home, nurtured the kids, and then men went off to work. But economically, most households can't sustain themselves like that, right? So now both men and women are going out making money, but women are still nurturing the children at home, still looking after the home, and still. So
are they nurturing the husbands?
How are you saying that? What do I bring to the table when just factually, when you lay out everything, I'm always doing more, and I will always be doing more. Because now it's
doing more how?
Doing more in terms of if we're actually physically talking about what we bring to the table. So say you're both working. So everyone's bringing money. Yeah. Right? Even if you share the chores in the house, right? Like a bunch of housemates, cool. Like even if you do that, it's fine. So now you're both cleaning. But still, I'm bringing life, like we said, right? But forget that. There's a certain like celestial wisdom that women have that men don't have. And that's not to shit on men. No. That's just something that we have. When you talk about like intuition, when you talk about,
I can agree with that.
There's so many successful men who will sit there and tell you about the conversations they've had with their wives, which have either made or not broken them, right? Whether it's business, whether it's their other relationships, where people say like, we're not going to even debate the value that women bring. And this isn't to say that every woman is like that, but every woman can get to that point.
But who has time to wait for you to figure it out?
Find one that is at that
nobody
point.
has that kind of time. What I'm saying is this: we're to a point now where the risk outweigh the reward of having a woman and having kids for many guys. Now, for me, as a Pan-African, I understand the value. And look, I'm not even the biggest marriage advocate, but I feel like you need to do that to save society. And I'm not even the biggest person like, I just want to run to marriage, because you know that when you have kids, your wife is not going to have time for you anymore. The sex is probably going to stop. And the kids are going to get looked after, and you're going to have to be suffering in all of that sacrifice. That's what a man's job is as a servant. He's consistently sacrifices for the fuckery of other people. That's what men do, okay? I can tell you because I do it in this business every day. And so, and God forbid if I had a wife and kids, I'd be doing it again twice. So what I'm saying is, guys, look at that. Because when you have to work so hard to get to where you're at, to be you, a lot of women that, let's say, for example, they're good looking, they do get privileges. So what we're talking about is, why is she worth me taking away my money or my time? Because what can she make me so much greater than what I already am? The answer usually is no. Women are not adding on to guys' lives like that, so much so that, why do you think that these guys in the entertainment world, like in the 90s, let's say, for example, in the 90s, everybody in the NBA was married. Remember, Jordan was married. Pippen was married. Clyde Drexler's married. Shaq's married. Look at the players now. Only LeBron's married and nobody's married. LeBron, Chris Paul, hardly nobody, Steph Curry. Nobody's married. These guys are having kids right now. Nick Cannon, what these guys are doing is putting them in the LLC, an employee making like 10 grand a month, and they're having like 13 kids. Guys are saying, I want the kids, I don't want the marriage. Why? Because these ladies don't feel like they need to do anything for you in the marriage. That's how society trains it. So when a guy says, what do you bring to the table? Women get offended by that. But you don't get offended by how much money do you make? What are you doing? What are you going to give for me? You don't get mad about that. The reality is that marriages have went down, and it's not because of just men. It's because men don't get what they used to get in marriage. They don't get anything. In comparisons to what my grandfather got, and I'm way more educated and maybe more hardworking than what he was in some aspects. But what he got in marriage, I'm never going to get that in marriage from a woman, ever. Not even in this generation, I can go to Antarctica and won't get that. No, nowhere unless I marry a cat or something like that. I won't get anything close to that remotely as far as that level of submission. And hey, I think I'm a pretty masculine guy and can take care of ladies. But what do you get out of that? The real thing is, for most marriages, what it benefits is society. So then that you don't get people out here and these kids fucking up everything. But the average guy, when he asks that, he wants to know what your value is for his time. And people have a hard time when men do that. And the real reason why women are upset, because you guys don't give them any fucking value. So that's why you're upset. If you have value, just tell the guy. Don't get upset about it. Address the question. He says, what do you bring to the table? Tell him. Because if you ask me that, I'm going to tell you. But women don't want to answer that because you tell them what you can bring to the table because you don't bring anything. That's the whole problem. If you ask me something and I can give it to you, I'm not going to have any issue defining what those things are. I'm only going to have a problem when I can't answer that intelligently. So people who get emotional about it don't have a fucking answer. They don't have an answer. Mm-hmm. The answer doesn't exist. So now you want to get mad. You're talking about ad hominems here. The guy asks you, what do you bring? It's not a curse word. He's not slandering you. He didn't call you a hoe or nothing. What do you bring to the table? What? What does that got to do with what he's talking about? Address what he's talking about. Women don't want to address because they don't have a response. And I'm going to tell you why. They don't feel like they got to give you nothing. That's why you got the response. If you're a real woman, such you said you can give life, give a response. Can you do that? They can't even do that.
But would you ask a lady what she brings to the table?
In so many words. Let me say this. You have women out there who can bring something to the table. Obviously. I'm not debunking that. I'm talking about that disgruntled crowd who has a problem with that. Mm-hmm. Because as men, we don't get offended. When you ask us, what can we do? We know you're going to ask us. If we're broke and out of shape and got a dirty ass house, we know what we got to do. We know that. You need to work. Go get some money. Come back and see me. I had one girl tell me, you're in medical school. Come back and see me once you're done. I'm richer than you now, by the way. Okay?
You know, everything you've said, I feel like as a man, if you end up with a woman who's not bringing anything of value to you, then that's a you problem, because you had a decision to make. You saw everything. You saw, there's a thing.
You saw everything?
You saw, and then you saw all the red flags and you decided to continue. And then, and now life has
But that's
dealt
not what
with
he's
these
saying.
cards.
See, you guys are acting as if he's inferring, okay, after you've been dating. I don't think he's saying that. He's saying that in general.
Oh, okay.
Because why would you go and be dating somebody and then ask them on the fourth date? I think Rachel had it right. The first date, what do you bring? Because I don't know you. What's your name? Jonita. What do you bring to the table? Something like that. Mm-mm. That's what guys are doing, even though it's uncomfortable and it's stupid. That's what guys are doing.
I've actually never interacted with anyone who's ever asked me those.
What do you bring to the table, Tina?
That's what I'm saying. These are what do I bring to the table? First of all, I am a good woman. Okay. I'm smart. I'm intelligent.
No, we don't
Because he said we can't answer it. He said we can't answer it. Yeah. Right? I'm a good mother.
Thank
right?
you.
I'm beautiful. Mm-hmm. Right? What's the other thing? No, this is putting me kind of on the spot now.
Yeah, no, come on. Story time.
Okay, no, I'm continuing.
No, why don't you think about it?
No.
Let me.
No. Please.
No, I don't want to. No, but that's just the thing. I've listed many things, and there's still more. But all these questions can be asked in the courting process.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's just weird. And again, this is one of these things that only happen on the internet, because no one does this in real life. Like, no one sits there and says, "What do you bring to the table?" Because that's weird.
Let me just say
it's very weird.
For people who don't know Martina is a very
Oh
nice
my
lady.
God.
Right? Don't
Reload that.
don't let the smooth taste fool you. She's really soft and stuff off the camera, right? But now the points that she made, all of these things describe, if you ask them and they do answer the question, it describes who she is to herself.
No, who I am in general. And to even my
but
friends.
But wait a
even
minute.
people
But
that
when
are
a
friends
guy
with
is
me.
asking that, he's not asking you that. What do you bring that benefits me? You being a good mom doesn't mean that you be a great mom.
I would
be a terrible wife and
What's your
terrible.
ideal answer for the people
He wants to
watching?
hear.
I can't tell you since you go around telling these guys out in these streets. The thing is, if you ask me what do I bring to the table, I would answer it as I'm a good partner. I will take care of you. I'm gonna make it about you. But women don't think about it in those terms. This is who I feel about myself. So I'm good. I'm smart. What does that mean? I'm smart. That doesn't mean anything
smart.
it means something
It
that's
does.
smart. I'm educated, I'm hardworking. But how does that affect the man? You're not doing anything for the man with those statements. And that is because you don't feel like you need to. That's the whole point. When they say that, no.
Who hurt you, brother?
Wait. Hold on. Wait. When she was raising her voice, it was exactly.
What woman's done this to you,
You
brother?
see Steve Harvey in the Simpaholics? So you gotta listen to this, right? When she's raising her voice, nobody had anything to say about her. But for me, you see that? You see the bystanders.
You see why? Because as a woman, I checked myself and then I brought it back down.
No, but it's
See
not,
what I mean?
I'm not being angry at anybody. But the reality is that when women talk about this, they talk about it in terms of what they have done, and Tina's all of that. I won't discredit her. But for me as a person, you need to qualify those statements into how it benefits me, which they don't. She doesn't feel like she needs to do that. That's the issue.
Not in a question. That's what that literally, like she said, it's the courting process, right? So while you're trying to court me, you should be having these conversations with me, talking about your past experiences, asking about where you see yourself in the future. And that's how you, as a man and the leader of the household, you should be vetting me, seeing if I'm the type of woman that you think would work as a wife for you. But the problem is you lot never want peace. You always want problems. And then you complain about the women that you pick.
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
There's that.
You do it to yourselves. And then you moan.
And they end up with
Hold on, wait.
Instagram
Wait,
models.
ask her.
And then they're like, I know good women.
Everyone.
The whole time.
Why you asking
The
her?
whole time you're looking for a woman with a BBL.
I love you, brother.
No offense.
Tina, I love you, sis. Jonita, I love you. Everybody,
We love you, bye.
relax. Now, as the married
who are
man on
you?
this panel,
Okay.
as the married man on this panel,
Okay, son us.
let me give you my personal experience.
Okay.
All right, of how I came to be. Right.
Married. Okay.
So, where I would decide to go socially plays a big part. So, if I'm in a restaurant or a bar or an art gallery or whatever, we're in the same space. So that already means you already got something that I like because I'm here and you're here and we like the same thing.
Okay.
Right? So that kind of takes that question, that's one thing on this table. You right?
I got it.
Then I approach you. You like what I have to say.
Wait. Romantic music!
I approach you. You like what I have to say. And you actually like the place I picked to take you on our first date. So it's like you build it up organically, right? Through where you like to be socially, for where you like to, like your morals and ethics and things like that come into play the more and more you date, right? So the question of what you bring to the table, I find kind of weird because whenever I've come up, that question been posed to me, that's the first and last date, or the second and last, or the third and last. I don't like that question. Right, it rubs me up the wrong way, triggers me, because if you don't get a grasp of who I am via like where we met and what we've done since then you're not the person for me. You get what I'm saying, O'Shea?
Have they ever asked you like after you fucked? I'm sorry. Keep the curse word. I'm just.
Have they ever asked me what I bring to the table after I've slept with them?
Yeah. No. Are you sure about that?
I'm very sure.
They're already blindsided.
They're already blindsided.
confused.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, it's a wrap by them.
Like she's
Okay.
like whatever red flag I see moving forward.
I don't care. Give me all the
It's
red flags.
maroon.
Let me decorate my room with them. I don't care.
She said it's maroon. Wait, cool. How do you want to say something? Hopefully it makes sense.
Street Kuhane.
I think O'Shea lost today.
No, it's not about winning or losing, guys. It's not about winning or losing. Sorry, Kuhane. Please.
But honestly, I feel like men nowadays go into the dating pool with a mentality that they are going to find city girls. And at the end of the day, it blinds you. You might be having the right woman seated right there with you, but in your head, you've already come in with the mentality that all these girls are going to do this, da. It's like, for example, if I walk into a room thinking that with the mentality that everybody hates me, I'm gonna leave knowing everybody hates me, even though that is not true.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where you are suffering from.
Oh,
You go
who's suffering?
into
Him over there.
Say that.
So you go into it with the mentality that all these girls they don't have anything to bring. And that's why you feel the need to ask, what do you bring to the table? Meanwhile, she might be there telling you exactly what she's bringing to the table, but you are not listening. Because in your head, you're focusing on asking, what do you bring to the table?
Look at you, Kuhani.
Let me say this. If I feel like somebody, if I feel like a particular, let me just say this, like a African middleman, right? African middlemen bring nothing to the table, so I don't even waste my time meeting them. Some of you guys are in the comment section, but I don't waste my time, right? So, but if I'm asking you, what do you bring to the table? I'm asking that because I do have some hope that you do bring something to the table. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there. That's just my rebuttal to that. But let me just say this. I believe in taking care of women completely. I don't believe in the 50-50 thing at all. So that's not my argument. I do believe in taking care of women. But I do believe that women need to put in the effort to where they want to be. They have no problems doing it in their professional life. And I know here in Uganda, I've seen so many people on like MBS or NTV, if I see these shows, women ought to be given. Should they? There's certain women that should be given. And there's certain women that should not be given. Because we don't have a problem with men. You don't deserve a wife. But when you tell a woman, you don't deserve a husband, it's
But whoever tells men they don't deserve wives,
but what I'm
that's
saying
the
is,
problem. It's typically always men trying to tell women who and what they deserve.
No,
because I won't go onto my internet and see women sitting around do it. Do you know what I mean?
all you gotta do is listen to Beyonce's album. I don't want no scrubs. Remember that song?
It was one song in the 90s.
No, we can hear so many. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. You gotta have a J-O-B if you wanna be with me. But, okay, so we can
going on but the rent. Sorry, I'm a DJ. You got me going.
Yeah. So how many songs do we gotta hear before the internet that women require you to do something, and if you can't do it, it's tough. Now, the problem is that when these guys say the same thing, women have a problem with that. And women have a problem with men who say that, who are typically affluent. And that's why, rest in peace to the great late Kevin Samuels, he exposed the side of a category of men that couldn't really speak for themselves for fear of losing their jobs. And they pretty much was able to say, look, I'm a fluent man and I cannot find women on my level. And what we thought about was women on the same socioeconomic or financial level. It wasn't that, because a man doesn't need your money. And so you can find women, like, look at what Marcus Houston just said. Marcus Houston, the whole media is trying to ruin the guy. He said, I dated these women who were my age, and these women were too independent. They were rude. I don't want to be in relationships with them. But Steve Harvey don't have a problem with women like that, because what men want don't matter. But in today's world, even though men don't control media and don't have what they have to say, and hopefully I will change it before I pass this earth, is that you do need to come to something to the table, and you do need to be somebody. If I got to be somebody, goddamn it, you got to be somebody too. And you need to be what I want you to be. That's the whole problem. And women don't like, here's the thing. When you see these other groups coming in, right? Black women complain, you black men, you guys are not strong like the white men. You're not strong like the Arab man or the Indian man. You're not taking care of your women. Okay, and then when you get men that can start doing it and want to put some standards on your ass, now you're upset about those standards. But I'm telling you, as better as black men start to become, those standards are going to be evoked, and you can either shit or get off the pot. That's what black men are going to require you to do. We don't want you having this or having that or having this, because broke dudes take anything. Guys that have education, that have money, and have productivity, hey, I'm gonna put it out there and tell you to your fucking face, you're not doing X, Y, and Z. I had to be what I am for you. Here's where you need to be. Women got an issue with that. But when you see women talking about black excellence, they're graduating from Howard University, they're graduating from Edinburgh, they're graduating from London School of Economics. It's black excellence. But you're not excellent when it comes to picking somebody because won't nobody put up with you. Because you don't come nothing to the table that a man wants. You have to be somebody a man wants. And then when you can't be somebody a man wants, what do you start doing? Here, what you start doing, look at Summer Walker and Little Meech. You start seeing these women like Erykah Badu and Gerard Atkinson. You see these women, Kiki Palmer and this new guy that she's dealing with, the house husband. You're seeing these women who can't get men on their level or above dating these guys. They're becoming like house husbands now.
Wait, did you just call Lil Meech a house husband?
I didn't call Lil Meech a house husband, but what I will say,
he's not.
He's not a house husband. But what I'm trying to say is, in comparisons to who Summer Walker should be able to deal with, that guy's a young guy. He's 22. She got a bigger following than him.
She's about 25 as
27.
Well. She's not 27.
27. What I'm saying is, you're seeing these ladies date younger and guys who look at Brittany Renner and PJ Washington. So what that says is, you can't get somebody that really values you. So now you're going younger because the guy's inexperienced.
Isn't that what you just described with Marcus Houston and his 19-year-old bride?
You just said he was dating. Yeah, you just said you said he went and said
with men. Men have always dated younger, and it's quite common.
No. Wait, okay, let me.
Wait. In this Africa,
you're hindering yourself
Kenya,
because
right?
you said
Nobody's going to say something when you see a 40-year-old man and a 22-year-old woman. But if you see a 40-year-old woman and a 22-year-old man, people are going to be around talking around the block about that shit because it's uncommon.
Okay, let me tell you something, Shay. You just said that.
But we know historically that older men and younger women, it always happens. But it doesn't go the way around.
My question is, this man went and dated women in his age group,
Africa.
you see? And he said he doesn't want to date them because they're too independent. Then he'll go date a younger girl and say, I don't want to date a younger girl. She's too needy. Then who do you want to date then?
That's
who
not
do
what
you
he
want
said.
to date then?
Who's too needy? Who said that?
No, I'm giving an example. I'm giving an example because it's something we've had so many times. We've had it so many times.
Many of them are
a
needy.
Man will come and say,
not
yes.
all of them, but many of them can be needy.
You see? Exactly. You're saying exactly what I'm saying.
Wait till the show it. Hey, brother, you heard about that. Make sure it's needy, man.
Kwenny, what are you saying?
I'm tired of my wife, man.
So yeah, at the end of the day, which still begs the question, you guys still ask, what do you bring to the table? But do you even know what you want her to bring to the table?
No, that's a valiant point. That's a valiant point. I won't.
Do you even know what you want her to bring to the table?
That's the best point from the opposition I heard all day.
Wow.
The rest of your arguments were what? But that was actually pretty good.
Because they call.
Wow.
Let me just caught you in the line.
It's a great point. A lot of men don't. Men are not absolved from their own fuckery. Yeah, a lot of men do not know what they want and what they desire, especially when you're younger, because you don't have enough experience to know. Some guys never know. They've been in a relationship with a woman, and like my dad, he can't stay by himself to figure out what he needs. And it's possible that a lot of men don't understand. Some men don't know how they should be treated, but you guys, especially this one, he trashed the Passport Bros. Those guys went over to a different place and found out, wow, I never was treated by a woman like I was in the DR or in Uganda or whatever. So now I know what I require. Sometimes it takes relocating to do that. And that's true. A lot of men don't know what they want. That's just true.
Yeah, but my issue with the Passport Bros was it weren't the guys that have exhausted every option they have. It's the ones that just pick up and exploit, and they've had plenty of opportunity and options where they're from to have great relationships, but they choose not to because they rather just go in somewhere, shoot up the club, and then leave.
Ooh.
That's my issue.
Isn't that just like sex tourism?
Pam pam.
But guys, before
Caribbean.
before we burn bridges, let's close this up. What do you guys think?
I think that there's been some excellent points made by the team.
Mostly by me. But.
Big up everybody. I believe that I don't know. I feel like marriage and relationships now are just they're not even looked at as they're not even looked upon deeply anymore. You know, it's like everybody wants a side chick and everybody wants to play a side chick because they want the kind of relationship vibe, but they don't want the commitment. And if you have argument in a relationship nowadays, that means you're doomed to fail. And when arguing is just a part of it, because you're arguing because you're trying to understand each other. And you're trying to, you know, figure out, okay, why are we arguing? It's not a sign to say that you should break up. So that's my feeling on it. And I just feel like that there shouldn't even be a table. Like the table should be kicked out the way and you should just go on organic dates and see if you're compatible. If you're not, go your separate ways.
Okay. Tina?
Yeah. No more table talk.
Okay. Rachel or Kuhani? Last remark?
I'm with maintain. Like, find out if you're compatible. You know, for all you know, I could be lying just to romance your ear. Yeah.
Kuhani, honey.
We're here to support you. So we're supporting you today, yes. Yeah, just like John Wick, break the table, yeah.
Oh, look at Kuhani. My last remark would be, if you're a lady out there and a man asks you what you bring to the table, just block him immediately before you even leave, because he should have the common sense to figure out what you bring to the table without asking that question. That's just my point. Oshay, last remark.
Let me just say this, you know, this whole table thing, because women always will require you to do something. That's just their nature, right? So we're going to also talk about, before we close this out, women require some men to bring nothing to the table and require men to bring a lot. That's why there's not this situation called a price floor. So that's something that a lot of guys are privy to, is that information. Women can require some guys to do nothing for them and then boom, 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 and then turn right around and require you to do everything for them. And this is one of the reasons why you have so many guys joining the red pill community, so many guys joining certain elements of the manosphere, so many guys getting used for dinner dates, you know, trying to be chivalrous and doing these things, and they give you a Christian hug and then take the food that they got from your date into the dude that they're sleeping with on the side. Because yes, they can tell you that they require everything from you. You got to build a house and do this stuff. But then the guy down the street, he's been all in them guts for years. And men are not dumb anymore. The information is out. So now guys are starting to look at, okay, this is not a good investment. And I'm not saying that women are not a good investment. Women are a great investment in society. Men need to invest into their women or you're going to get anarchy. That's just, I can't get away from that. And I believe that you do take care of women. I'm very protective of the women in my life. I agree with that. But every woman has to be a woman that is worth protecting. You need to act a certain way for me to do something for you. I'm not going to do it just because you're you and you feel like you're at the table. Because women are going to always make men do something and prove themselves. Women have always done that and always will do that. But men can never make women prove anything. That's always offensive. And that's why you get all these ad hominems and leave right away if you ask that, because women don't want to be accountable for the same things they make men accountable for. They don't. They don't want to be able to do nothing for you. And so if that's the case, then why do you see these ladies these guys having all these situationships? Because that one isn't doing anything. Bye. You're not there to prove any value, so he doesn't keep you. That's why so many chicks are getting bounced around in America, in this Africa, dare I say, in this East Africa. You see it all the time. These guys come from other places like, oh, he dealt with me for like 1 month and they didn't talk to me anymore because you didn't do anything. You're not different. So how are you going to get a good man if you're not doing anything? You do everything else in your personal private life to be an entrepreneur or business lady. When it comes to the guy, let's just show up. I got a nice weave. I have this nice dress on. That's it. Like, no. Like, if a guy is affluent enough, that doesn't mean anything. You can get that anywhere, almost anywhere. So what else do you bring? Don't talk about you're smart or you look good. You do this. No, what do you do for that particular guy such that he will want to love you and marry you and want to take care of you? Because if I have a wife, I want to feel like I want to build her a house, I want to put my kids in international school, all that kind of stuff. But if you don't make me feel like that because you don't have those things and you don't feel like you need to do it. But women don't have, especially a lot of black women, don't have a lot of respect for black men, and they don't feel like they need to do anything for them. That's why these other groups of ladies are snatching these guys out left and right, and then they get mad. Well, what do you do for the guy that you want to be with? And the question is, most women don't feel like they need to do nothing. You're glad that they showed up. They are much better than you. And that's the truth. You should be glad I showed up and let you spend this $300 on a meal today and take care of me and then give my kids some money too because I had to take all my time to come see your ugly ass. That's how they feel.
Well,
that's the truth.
Thank you so much for that powerful speech and everything. Guys, let's
you mad, I know.
Let's end it here.
It is not my fault.
Follow Tina at Tinagram, DJ Maintain at DJ Maintain, Kuhani at Street Kuhani, and do not email or show anything like that. If you have any links or anything like that, email us at teamkenganda@gmail.com. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Kenganda Nation. Subscribe to this channel, hit the bell.
One last thing.
Oh,
guys.
I think
No, I'm done with the thing.
Okay.
Guys, I'm not hosting anybody else this year. I've been hosting all year. So don't ask me, can you come see us or anything? The answer is no. We don't even want a tour package because we don't want to see y'all. That's how bad we don't want to see you. We love you from afar. Okay? If you happen to run into us in the mall, we'll talk. But no, you cannot come see me. No. June, we got stuff going on. Maybe in 2024 though.
Okay.
But I've been hosting all the first 5 months of the year. I don't have it in me no more, y'all.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. I'm also subscribed to the Pan-African Dating Show. Maybe you can find love there and no one will ask you what you bring to the table. See you guys next time. Yeah.